is Tuesday Wrestling, and you all know what that means. That means once again we have NWA Powerrr. We are featuring several matches taking place. We have a three-way match. The NWA Women's World Television title is on the line. Max the Impaler defends it. We also got, of course, the main event, the National Heavyweight Championship on the line. Billy Cyrus defends the belt against a friend that he has known for many years, back in their days in the Independent, Devin Dixon. Then we move on with NXT featuring, of course, two matches for the Last Chance Survival Challenge. Now, if you guys remember, these are competitors that lost in the qualifying matches for the Iron Survival Challenge. One of them from either the men's or the women will be the final participant in the Iron Survival Challenge in Deadline. So as you know, Deadline is their upcoming pay-per-view this coming weekend. I can't believe we're going to get to that. And of course, we had the face-to-face confrontation between Ilya Dragunov and Baron Corbin. Then we move on with some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set. Either we have wrestlers that have been signed or departing from any promotion, injured wrestlers, the whole enchilada. So, get ready for another episode of the Elite Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Elite Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of reviews from various wrestling promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do more news updates in case if we're unable to put it on this episode, I can put it separately. We also do stuff here. But if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool stuff on this channel. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or give us a nice comment down below. Now, let's begin with our very first review, and this is from NWA Powerrr. It opened up with the Slime Ballz making their in-ring debut for the first time. They face off against the Country Gentlemen, the Kazana brothers, to be exact. Now, I don't know what to expect with the Slime Ballz because this is their debut match, as I mentioned. Now, the Slime Ballz have been making an appearance, but when they were booked for this match, they are confident enough to believe that they will walk out as a win. They think that guys like the Country Gentlemen never been to Slime City, but the Country Gentlemen, they don't need to go to Slime City. All they need to do is kick their butts. That's what they need to do. And of course, I have to say, the youngest Casey Kazana really impressed me. He really pulled his weight. As you know, his older brother's AJ, he would have been the one to do all the work, but he actually pulled his weight and allowed for them to do a version of the Doomsday device against Sage, and 1, 2, 3, an excellent win. Even though the Slime Ballz lost in their debut match, well, that's next time. Now, we do see an interesting interview with Samantha Starr at the podium with Kyle Davis. Now she's referring to herself as Miss Starr. So basically, all this and that, she is determined to reach the top. However, she actually has an assistant, and that assistant is Chelsea, who not too long ago attacked her while she was in the ring. But fortunately, Chelsea ended up in a very bit of a pickle. Samantha Starr put her in a match against Max the Impaler, and she put the NWA Women's World Television title on the line, which, of course, is an easy thing for Max to do, because here's the reasons why. Those who are unfamiliarized with the NWA, the World Television title has this thing. If you win lucky number 7 matches in a row, you can cash in your opportunity for a shot of the world title. So Max the Impaler is right now in her 7th match. She can cash in her NWA Women's World Television title against Kenzie Page. But if I'm the betting man, I'm going to say that she's going to wait till the right perfect moment. However, Chelsea did not come out of this one alive. She ended up in the short range lariat. So that gives Max the Impaler lucky number 7. Now, she could cash in if she wants or keep defending it however she wants to. Don't forget, Max the Impaler is a double champion. She is not only the current NWA Women's World Champion, the World's Television Champion, but also the International Princess Champion from the promotion Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match, we have the Outrunners, Truth Magnum and what's his name? Turbo Floyd, taking on the Spectaculars, consisting of Slade and Russ Taylor. Now, it seems that Russ Freeman has a bit of a, interest in Slade. Now, Rolando is not an easy person to convince, but my God, they were impressed by Slade to pick up the win. You wouldn't expect it. Of course, Rolando, he was like a bit of surprise. So I think the problem is for Rolando, yes, you need sexiness, but you need someone who can actually deliver results. And I think that's something that, of course, Rolando misunderstood. It's okay to have a little sexiness, but you need results in winning. And I think Russ may have been on the right pocket on this one, because Slade applied a air raid crash onto Magnum, and 1, 2, 3, it was over right from there. Now, our next interview with Mae Valentine, we have, of course, Pretty Powerrr, Kylie Page, and Ella Envy, along with Colby Corino. Of course, the Pretty Powerrr, their next opponents, bad-mouthing them, doing the same old thing. Same thing with Colby Corino. But however, Mae Valentine kind of asked Colby, has she ever seen the matches of course, the Pretty Powerrr? He said no, he hasn't. But he said good luck to their match. Pretty Powerrr were not happy with that result. So, so I thought it was really funny out of his part. Now, our next match is a 3-way match. We have Joe Alonzo, Ray Fury, and Luke Curtis. I don't know these Luke Curtis or Ray Fury. I mean, we do have Ray Horace, Ray Phoenix, but no. But it was a pretty good match, but not to mention, I kind of figured that this match is going to end up with Joe Alonzo, who is determined to prove that he is the much bigger star in NWA. So that was to expect it. So he applied a somewhat of a full Nelson face slam onto Fury, and 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, Mae Valentine did her final interview with Talos and Daisy Kills, who, in fact, as you know, are not too thrilled with the loss of their NWA United States Tag Team titles. So basically, they're unhappy. But the real question is, what's next for them? They said they're not willing to talk about that, I think. But we'll see where that leads us. Now, our main event is the National Heavyweight title. Devin Dixon takes on Thrill Billy Cyrus. Now, of course, there was never going to be no holdbacks between both sides. But this match ended with Thrill Billy applying the Thrill Ride to pick up the win. But out of nowhere, here comes the Southern Six. All members, Kerry Morton and Alex Taylor, And then they gave a beating on Devon, claiming their territory, that this is their turf. However, the current NWA women, the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion EC3 show up, and his challenger Jack Staines showed up. I don't know what's the significance of this, but I'm sure they're not going to allow the six to take over the NWA. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. I think that's pretty much it with the NWA. I believe it's time for, NXT. Okay, our final review, NXT. Now, as I mentioned before, we have 2 matches involving the Last Chance Iron Survival Challenge. Now, let me recap what that is. Now, as you know, recently in the last 4 weeks, NXT has been putting out the Iron Survival Challenges qualifier matches. As you know, the winners from those matches, we have Blair Davenport, Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, and Kelani Jordan. So all 4 of them have secured their spots. However, their losing opponents, in the other hand, will get a final opportunity. That leads to Roxanne Perez, Kiana James, and of course, Fallon Henley. And the hell. So the women's are that. So that's our very first match we have. Now, of course, in the women's side, we know there's going to be tensions between both Roxanne Perez and Kiana James. Now, the reasons behind that has been going on recently. Kiara James had enough of the whole popularity contest with Roxanne, who's been, getting all the attention. So she did whatever it takes to show her that her time is done and now it's her time. And then, of course, Roxanne repaid the favor and the whole thing. But, of course, that was going to lead. However, I think many of us can say we were impressed with Fallon Henley with her performance. I mean, she has grown so much. And not to mention, she called her shot, like she said last week during an interview with Lyra Valkyria. And boom, applying the Shining Wizard, and it was over. So that means she has finally secured her spot. So that only leaves the men's. Now, during an interview with Kelly Kincaid, the current women's champion, of course, was observing the whole match. However, Lola Vice, who is the NXT winner of the breakout tournament, could cash in her opportunity for the title anytime, anywhere. However, they had a very interesting person showing up, and that is Tatum Paxley. So apparently, those two will deal with each other in the ring. I don't know what's Paxley's interest in Lyra Valkyria. It looks like she was a little creepy little stalker. But nonetheless, that's what happened. But it did happen. We'll get to that in a bit. Now, Wes Lee, who is set to face Dominic Mysterio, apparently had to give the sad news to the fans due to the fact he injured himself. He is unable to compete at Deadline. Give a very emotional promo about how this would have been like his crowning achievement, but he made clear that this is not the end for him. And of course, when this was announced, you know who showed up. Dirty Dom, all happy, like, I don't need to be in Deadline. I'm taking the night off. But apparently Wes Lee told him it's not that simple. But someone had to, inform him that that's not going to happen. And that person who informed him is none other than his own dad, Rey Mysterio. But he did tell him that he will be competing in Deadline, and his opponent is someone he has faced before. Twice. And that is Dragon Lee. Now, I don't know what Mommy would think, because she would say he already beat him twice. But you know the old saying goes, third time's a charm. We'll see. Now, once again, the whole thing with Kiara James and Roxanne Perez continued to break down. However, they couldn't keep their hands off each other, so Ava Reigns, she decided to make a decision. So she approached Shawn Michaels, and this one was a little later, where she talked to him to saying that they need to deal with this whole mess. So at Deadline, it was announced that those two, Roxanne Perez, will take on James, Kiana James, in a steel cage match at Deadline. So this is going to be a brutal, gruesome match. Now we know that Roxanne Perez won the Devil's Playground not too long ago, even though Kiana James refuses to let go. We'll see how that rolls up too. Now, our next match, we have Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice. Now, you probably would think that Tatum Paxley, who has developed a new set of skills for a while, would have found a way to beat Lola Vice. But however, it was the spinning heel kick that was the real difference maker to Lola Vice to pick up the win. But the obvious question does remain. When will she cash in her opportunity? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if she does it sometime after Deadline or after whoever's going to face Lyra Valkyria for the match and challenge her. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Now, our next match, we have a 6-person intergender tag match. First, we have Alpha Academy, Maxine Dupree, Otis, and Chad Gable taking on the members of Metaphor, consistent of Oro Menza, Lash Legend, and Noram Dar. But the last thing that Lash Legend need to do in this particular match is be in front of Otis doing his little thingy, try to make her throw up. But Maxine Dupree really impressed me a lot. She jumped off the shoulders of Chad Gable. However, this wasn't a very impressive match. Chad Gable finally put Noam Dar in a ankle lock, and he had no choice but to tap. But the obvious question does tell this to me. Does this mean that Chad Gable gets another opportunity of the Heritage Cup? You got to remember, he was close in winning, even though he made him tap. Not once, but twice. First time, well, the match was over, but he did tap out. But we'll see how that rolls up. Now, last week, Nathan Frazier got in the face of Ilya Dragunov, tried to, well, he was stating certain facts, but however, Axiom told him that he should not have done this. But they decided they're going to settle this in the ring. Now, once again, NXT Anonymous, whoever he is, has been putting out videos. Now, recently, if you guys remember, let's take what happened. Last week, there was a video shown where, of course, you see Trick Williams comes out of a room all happy. And out of nowhere in the shadows, we see Lexis King. Now, we don't know what's the significance of that. Well, it showed that that he was the one behind it. But there was another video that was shown where Trick Williams was in that same room where Trick Williams comes out, talking with Carmelo Hayes. But there was a moment where Carmelo Hayes got on the phone, texted whoever, then come out. So the obvious question is, was Carmelo Hayes in business with Lexis King? We don't know. We don't know what Anonymous is trying to do or what exactly he's trying to tell us. Is he telling us that Carmelo Hayes was involved, or there's something more that we're not seeing? We just gotta wait till the big mystery reveal itself. Now, earlier this week, we did see the Gallows Boys in their establishment. They were visited by, of course, Hank Walker and Hank Ledger. Now, they weren't there to start up a fight, but give them a business proposition. So basically, they're saying, look, we want to have a match with you guys. I mean, you guys done it all. I mean, you've been champions, you had big matches, that sort of thing. So they're trying to tell them, we are trying to establish ourselves too, but what better way to do that with you guys? So better way, they understand, okay. But however, they're not sure. Gallows was like, I don't think you want any piece of it. So however, Ledger got into Wolfgang's nerves, but he told him, you don't want to do this here. I mean, this is nice nice establishment, but let's do it in the ring. So they took the deal. So yes. Now, the women of the Iron Survival Challenge, as you know, they were in the ring with what's his name? Braxton or whatever his name is, I don't know. But anyway, they pleaded their case why they'll be the ones to pick up the win. But of course, like anything, like any type of things happens, it was all gonna break loose. It was out of nowhere. However, they jump into the next match with Axiom and Nathan Frazier. However, the match was pretty good, but once again, the ladies of the Iron Survival Challenge got in each other's faces, spilled their little drama into the ring. Axiom and Nathan Frazier like, what the hell? But when you thought everything was cool, we saw that Blair Davenport was not in the ring, but we had an unexpected visitor. Oh yes, that's right, one of Blair Davenport's victims, and that victim is none other than Nikita Lyons. Remember, it was Blair Davenport who was behind the attacks, you know. So I have to say that's going to be very interesting to see. Everybody who she had to take out will be coming after her tenfold. Now, as you know, Chase University has been in a bit of a pickle. So basically, Andre Chase has to, of course, he addressed about the financial status that the university had to deal with. So basically, he explained that, you know, he had to dig deeper into the funds and all this and that. But, of course, they had to tell him how much money does he owe. So apparently he owes hundred thousands of dollars. So it's not going to be easy tax, so they're trying to figure out a way to save the university. Someone says lemonade stand, cookie stand, car wash, and all of a sudden, Riley Osborne had say, can we build a, not to be scammed like this? And they held, as you know, acting like she's still in high school, had her goo eyes, and of course, there's that one friend, which is of course Jay-Z Jane, tried to tell him, hello, anybody there? And back to reality. Now, before Carmelo Hayes heads to his match for the last chance of the Iron Survival Challenge, Trick Williams wanted to know answers. What was that video all about? So he wanted to know, was he in cahoots with Lexis King about this? But he wouldn't give a straight answer to that. So he had to focus on his match. So he was the first to come out. Then Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey, and Eddie Thorpe. Now, I was a bit worried about Eddie Thorpe because you can see his ribs are taped up. That's a vulnerable position, which is, of course, a weak spot for any opponent to that. And that person who exploited it was none other than Joe Coffey. So basically, you all would have thought Carmelo Hayes would have walked out as the victor. I mean, I thought so too. But that wasn't the case. It was Tyler Bate with the Tyler Driver 97 that put away Coffey, giving him the win. However, all participants of the Iron Survival Challenge in the men's side appeared, and all hell broke loose, just like the women's did. However, Carmelo Hayes was having talks with Ava Reigns about having a match against Lexis King at Deadline. Now, of course, Trick Williams wanted answers about that. He said no, that he had nothing to do what he did. So he doesn't understand what is going on, but he felt that he has to take care of business. So he asked Ava Reigns to make that match official. Well, we'll see how that turns up. Now, for a long time, Baron Corbin has, ever since he first reappeared in NXT, claiming that all talent coming to NXT, they complain, they bitch, they moan about not getting a fear, that he feels like he has to end it. However, he decides to pick on Ilya Dragunov about, oh, you're an idiot. You have your family back in Germany. So he thinks that the way he lives his life is pathetic. But somehow Dragunov got into his head. You can say that Baron was the one who got him first, but Dragunov reversed it. Somehow. So I'm sure Baron Corbin should be worried, but we'll see. And just like any other type, we did see all participants in the men's Iron Survival Challenge show up beating the crap out of them. However, we did see, of course, Trick Williams. Who else? Tyler Bate got speared by Braun through a table, and then we see Dijak get taken out. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see who walks out as the victor at deadline from both sides. So I think that's pretty much it. So I believe let's end it with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin. GCW has put out some interesting things are going up, updating on their events. Now, for the highest in the room that takes place this weekend, it was announced that Matt Cardona, Steph DeLander, and Jimmy Lloyd will take on the members of Los Macizos, and of course, along with Little Cholo. And then, of course, for the, as you know, we have the Nick Gage Invitational 8 taking place on December 30th. They announced for the final participant, and that's going to be Miedo Extremo. Interesting to hear that. Now, their 56 Birds event that starts on the 13th of January, they announced that Joey Janela will be facing against Microman. Interesting. Microman. So I'm kind of curious about that match, so we'll see. Now, they even announced that Jonathan Gresham returns to GCW, and he's been booked for 4 days with GCW. The first two will be the 12th of January in Chicago, the 13th in Columbus, Ohio, which is, of course, 56 Birds. And I believe the Chicago event, that's No Compadre, I think that's the one. And then we jump in on the 9th of February in Jersey City, and the 10th as well in Jersey City. So basically, he's booked for shows. Now, across the Atlantic, as you know, we have RevPro announced for the upcoming event Uprising on the 16th of this month of December. It's a battle between two Brits. As you know, Gabe Kidd attacked in the New Japan event Will Ospreay, claiming that, that his time was up. He's sick and tired of Will Ospreay being the top guy. He said that will be his final reckoning. But however, Will Ospreay claims that now that, of course, Gabe Kidd is all talk but no action. But Gabe Kidd claims he is plenty of action. We all seen Gabe Kidd. He attacks his opponents before the match even starts. But we'll see how that goes. Now, speaking of Will Ospreay, it was announced by Impact Wrestling when of the start of TNA, he will be participating in their Las Vegas show, Snake Eyes. So that's going to be pretty good to hear. Now, finally, Blitzbrieg Pro has announced that grizzled young veterans will be making an appearance, and they will be taking on against Miracle Generation. So I don't know if I'll be able to see that match, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of interesting things. Now, reporting on some other things have been revealed. Prestige Wrestling, as you know, they have already been booked some dates at the Globe Theater in LA. However, they just put out a statement today. But this is what they do. Due to further complications with Globe Theater, we'll be moving all future Los Angeles shows to the Vermont Hollywood. This includes Combat Princess USA and A Moment of Violence. All tickets will still be honored, and we are thrilled to have found such an amazing venue to move these events to. Thank you for your support and understanding. We will see you at the show. So, complications in the Globe Theater. We know that the Globe Theater has hosted many wrestling shows like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, GCW, and other locations. However, we don't know what's the significance of those circumstances, but it's great to hear that Prestige Wrestling had a backup plan or whatever they did. Now, any ChocoPro or Gatoh Move fans, unfortunately we had some not sad news, but more surprising news. One of their talents, Sayuri, has, it was announced that she'll be graduating from Gatoh Move, but at the same time, she will be no longer wrestling anymore. Now, Sayuri was out for all of this, for most of 2023. This is what she put out. This is a message from her from the Gatoh Move Twitter page. Thank you always for supporting ChocoPro, Gatoh Move, especially for you supporting me, Sayuri. I have made a difficult decision to graduate from Gatoh Move and end my wrestling career on December 30th. I have been on a break for a year aiming for a comeback. However, in November, just when I thought I was about to return, my health regressed, heading on a returning and had many things that I want to do and improved on. To say I have no regrets would be a lie. I still dearly love wrestling, Gatoh Move, ChocoPro, and all the fans, and I hope to continue for at least 10 years, but considering my future, I have to realize now that the right time has turned into a new chapter in my life. To everyone who believed in my return and supported me, I filled with both. Sorry, my cat. To everyone who believed in my return and supported me, and I am filled with both regret and outcome immersed gratitude. Your constant support encouraged me, and love will be invaluable to me. 4.5 years spent with Gatoh Move and ChocoPro are the most precious treasures of my life, and they will be incredibly happy times. While I can no longer pursue my greatest passion, wrestling, unfortunately there are other many endeavors like acting that I am eager to explore. I plan to live my life joyfully and true to myself, and I hope to continue for your for your continued support. And I look forward to cheering on Gatoh Move, ChocoPro together with you. I'm sure we'll meet again somewhere, and when that time comes, I hope you all will be there. Thank you very much for everything. I love you all. Sayuri. Yeah. Now, people like to confuse the word graduation to retirement sometimes. People thought the same thing of Nodoga Temna from Tokyo Pro. Basically, graduation means that they, of course, are out of the promotion and they move on to other things. But it's sad that Sayuri really had to make this difficult decision. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't an easy one for her. Many wrestlers who been in her circumstances went through the same thing too. And the same thing happened to Arisa Yoshiki, who was Tam Nakano's tag partner. Went through the same experience. Many wrestlers have. But, of course, we'll continue to think about them and support them wherever they're going to go. So we'll see. Hopefully we see her again making an appearance, just saying hi. But only time will tell. Now, Alejandro made a very surprise visit at the promotion Dragon Gate. It appears that the current Open the Twin Gate champions, The Courage, consisting of Yuki Yoshioka and Dragon Dia. Well, Yoshioka called out Kiyomiya. So Alejandro appeared on behalf of Kiyomiya, saying that they accept his challenge. So they will be challenging for the Open the Twin Gate Championship. Now, those who aren't familiarized with that term, those are the tag titles from Dragon Gate. There's 4 that they have in total. The Open the Dream Gate, which is the top title. Open the Brave Gate, which is, of course, either like submission, striking, high flying belt. Open the Twin Gates, which is the tag team, and then Open the Triangle Gate, which is, of course, the trios. So yes, Hopefully, somewhere we can see it, but we'll see. Now, as you know, when QT Marshall announced that he will be departing from AEW by the end of this year, and of course, there's been a lot of interest from WWE about having him. However, it appears they're not the only promotion. Some of you may think, Impact? No, this was reported saying that MLW have an interest in him. So, this was a very interesting thing to hear, that they have an interest in him. But we'll just see, because I don't know what MLW can offer him, because that's like a very interesting thing to hear. But only time will tell until QT Marshall makes that decision. So I think that's pretty much it for now. Let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. I initially wasn't too sure if I'll be able to do maybe just 3, but I'll end up with 2. The reason of my circumstances, because I had to go to work, had to wake up really early in the morning, and that caused it. But when it comes to this, I'll be doing some things like this before, try to take it easy. I know, because, as you know, I will go back to work again on Thursday. I may have to do only MLW, Impact Wrestling, and ROH. So we'll see how that goes. But however, for our Wednesday episode, I believe right now we're entering 1261. We're gonna have, of course, more with World Tag League with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think we're in day 13, and then of course AEW Dynamite. Now I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna put anything before that, but we will see. So I'm a bit behind with still 4 days away from the 4 days I haven't seen of All Japan Pro Wrestling. Day 6, 7, 8, and 9. I know 10 is up and about and all that. Just found out that we have the last show from Wrestling Revolver, and of course Black Label Pro Slamington. I will see those. So basically, we have some shows for this month, and I still need to finish off with All Japan. We'll see how things go on from here on out. So for right now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWC channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.